We welcome you to CAA Women's Basketball Media Day as our coverage continues of the Coastal Athletic Association. I'm John Fanta. My partner is Maria Marino. And Maria, we're so excited for a new season of CAA Women's Basketball. Right now, women's college basketball, it is such a glorious time. And I know you've been doing some WNBA finals coverage as well. It's been fantastic to watch that in action. But I'm pumped up for CAA women's hoops. I think as we look at this league, we saw last year with Drexel what the Dragons were able to do, winning the program's third CAA title when they beat Stony Brook. The year before, we saw Monmouth come out as a CAA tournament champions. What's the point? This league has great parity. Every night's a battle. I think we're in for a really fun season of CAA women's hoops.
Absolutely. Well, John, it's great to be with you. I couldn't be more excited for this upcoming season for women's college basketball as a whole, but especially the CAA. I think you nailed it in terms of the parity of this league. I mean, how crazy is it to get a 7 seed winning a championship, not just last year, but the season before that as well? So, anything can happen down the stretch.
It sure can. And with that, let's get right into our conference preseason poll in the CAA, this 14-team league, and the team that is at the top, North Carolina A&T. Such a consistent program, a team that has just won year in and year out under Terrell Robinson, their head coach. Look out for A&T. They are at the top of the preseason poll. Then you have Drexel coming in at second. The Dragons, the reigning CAA tournament champions. Always steady Towson under Laura Harper. They come in at number 3. Charleston and William & Mary in a tie for fourth with Delaware and Elon rounding out the top 7 in the CAA women's preseason poll. You see the back half teams, but it's a new season. Anything can happen. And, we saw 2 short years ago in Monmouth. They came out of nowhere in the CAA tournament. We have seen it the last couple of seasons where you don't know what can happen when all of these teams get down to Washington, D.C., where the CAA Women's Basketball Championship will be again. Let's get to our preseason player of the year. And, Maria, this is a very deserving candidate. Charleston's Taryn Barbeau is our CAA Women's Basketball preseason player of the year as you take a look at the rest of the all-CAA preseason first team, Maria.
Expecting really big things clearly out of Taryn Barbeau. Last season, averaged 15 points, 6.3 rebounds, and a couple of assists across her 28 starts. I mean, a CAA Rookie of the Year. Going to be hard to follow that up, but I think she's up for the challenge.
Yeah, it surely looks like that she can be, and we can't wait to talk more with Taryn. Talia Goodman was able to catch up with her for a one-on-one, as well as interviews with all of our all-CAA preseason first-team selections. You saw Patricia Anungba, a graduate student at Towson who is just tough and a veteran guard from Maryland. She can really, really play. Amaris Baker at Drexel. We talked a little bit about it, but with the Dragons, when you think about Baker and last year, Chloe Hodges, Brooke Mullen on the CAA Women's Basketball Championship all-tournament team, with Baker being the most outstanding player of the tournament, scoring close to 20 points per game in that 4-day stretch. She lands on the first team. Malia Bracone, Jordan Dorsey at North Carolina A&T. Maria, that's what stands out to me is A&T, they've won at such a high level. It's a game changer when you've got 2 all-conference preseason first-team selections, and that's what they've got at North Carolina A&T.
Absolutely. But of course, we always have to caution with these preseason polls, right? We've been talking about how anything can happen. I'm excited to see how the players with high expectations live up to those expectations, and also to see other players emerge that maybe you don't necessarily expect. Every team has new challenges, roster turnover. We know the transfer portal is extremely active in the sport. So also, what new freshmen may or may not sort of break onto the scene. So all of this just adding to the excitement of this new season.
Our CAA all-conference preseason second team, we've got Isis Adams from Elon, a senior forward from Greensboro, North Carolina. She leads the way. And you've got Shania Clark at North Carolina A&T. Yes, 3 of the top 10 all preseason selections are from A&T. Taylor Henderson at UNCW looking to do big things under Coach Woods this season, a veteran who will definitely play a big role. Bella Nascimento at William & Mary. Can the Tribe make a move? They're tied for fourth in the preseason poll. They have big expectations for Bella this season. And Chloe Wilson of the Delaware Blue Hens in her fifth season. She rounds out the All-CAA preseason second team. You've got a couple of honorable mentions in there as well who look to make their move up the list. But I think you're right. You know, when you open up a season now in college basketball, anything can happen. Preseason polls and teams are fun to look at, but that journey to March, once the ball gets tipped, none of that preseason chatter means much, especially when you get to the CAA tournament come in Washington in March, because it has produced some wild March drama, Maria.
That being said, as you pointed out, with two preseason first team selections and a preseason second team selection, it's no surprise that North Carolina A&T tallied the most first place votes with 11 to just sit atop the preseason, and they are expected to finish this season at the top in first place.
I think that there's a lot of great energy around Stony Brook women's basketball. We're going to be hearing from all the coaches in this conference and the all preseason selections, but we're really excited for the Joy McCorvey era to begin at Stony Brook. Stony Brook last year, a 28-5 overall record, and Coach Langford obviously did a marvelous job. Now Coach McCorvey, John Fanta, Maria Marino, a pleasure to have you with us, and congratulations on becoming the leader of this Stony Brook program. What excites you the most about this first season at the helm and the possibilities at Stony Brook?
Yeah, well, first off, hi. I'm very excited to be here and opening up. Really excited, just grateful and appreciative for the opportunity, first and foremost, to be the leader and to be able to come every day to work and coach a tremendous group of young women. They have embraced myself and my staff. They've embraced our new culture. And it's really been fun adjustments, adjusting to their new roles and responsibilities, adjusting to new culture, new staff, player development, just being everyday good people. We talk every day about being 1% better, and that's what we are continuing to focus on. We know we're not last year's team. We've lost quite a few from last year's team, but it's been exciting to watch them grow from the summer until now.
Well, last season, you mentioned the high finish, right? First in the conference. You're not last year's team, but you do have some returning players that experience the success of last year's team. How do you think that's going to help this time around?
Yeah, I think that's been huge. As much it is my responsibility at the helm of the leadership. They've done a tremendous job of being great leaders in our program and establishing just the winning culture and tradition of this program, because they have their experience. They've been there. They've won a lot of games, and they're hungry. They're excited for this season. They have a chip on their shoulder. They want to win another championship. So that's been exciting. And we have rallied off of their leadership and their expectations for this program.
Joy, when we think about your journey here, you spent the last three seasons as an assistant coach at Tennessee, being on staff at Michigan as well for Coach Barnes Arico, and just your journey as well. In June 2022, you're named one of the most impactful high major assistant coaches in all of Division I women's basketball. So you've had quite a journey to get to this point. What are the key tools that you've learned in that journey that now you take with you as a head coach, that you look to take with you as you put your stamp on this program?
Absolutely. I think first and foremost, you are successful as the people that you're surrounded by. I'm so grateful for the mentors, both head coaches and assistant coaches, that I had the opportunity to surround myself with and continue to learn and grow with each team. And it was very important to me to make sure that I surround myself with my staff who value the things that I value, who value growing our young ladies, both on and off the court, value player development, value loving them and coaching them at a very high level. So that was really important to me. Like you said, I've been at a few different places, but the people in the program who are all pushing in the same direction, that's what matters. And that's where the success starts. So I'm very thankful for my staff and then the leaders and the players in our program that have been a part of that.
Coach, when you begin to lead a program for the first time, the to-do list is long. Let's talk a little bit about how you assembled this roster, surrounding the returners that we already talked about. Who do you expect to really produce and lead your team this year, especially after Gigi Gonzalez, the player of the year a season ago in the CAA, and, second teamer Kari Clark have moved on?
Yeah, I think first and foremost, the number one thing on my to-do list is build really great relationships, both on and off the court. And my staff has done a tremendous job of that from the first day that we stepped on campus. And that, for me, that's most important. And then building confidence in the new team that we have, losing Gigi and Kari and a few others. It was really important to me to continue to build confidence as we navigate new roles and new responsibilities. So it's been exciting at the helm of that. Zeta Gonzalez, a senior for us who had a tremendous season last season and is such a just hard worker. She sets the tone for us every day in practice with her work ethic, with the extra work that she's putting in outside of practice. Shamarla King also. I have two incredible leaders who have set the bar tremendously high in their new roles. And it's really just their work ethic. It's their work ethic, it's their communication, and it's holding our team to a very high standard. So I'm very blessed. As I'm very blessed in my first year to have two tremendous leaders. And our players feed off of their energy. They want to work as hard as they are. And as you know, when you have leaders and your leaders are first in practice, they're first in sprints, they are working incredibly hard, whether we're in the weight room or on the court, it has a positive impact on your team.
Coach, and Maria, we were talking about this as we were getting ready for this show. It is very uncommon for us to see someone who was a 4-year captain as a player. Think about this, Maria. Joy was a 4-year captain at St. John's. That's saying something at a place like St. John's that's had tons of leaders and tough players and great leaders throughout the years. So I have to ask you, how did you become a captain as a freshman?
Because I wouldn't shut my mouth, probably. No, I mean, for me, it was awesome. But even without the title, I'm just who I am. I want to be first in everything. I'm going to work extremely hard at everything I do. And that's just how I've grown up. That's how I was raised. Credit to my family, first and foremost, my high school coaches who pushed and challenged me and prepared me to be ready for college. And then credit to Kim Barnes-Enrico, my college coach, who saw something in me at the time that I didn't know. I was just trying to do the right thing and be first and lead by example, with or without the title. So it's just, and we talk about that with our team all the time, just being 1% better, and just, it takes what it takes. To be good at anything in life, it takes what it takes. And you have to tackle the hard and embrace the hard. And the hard has to become fun for you. So it's who I am as a person. It just so happened to come with a 4-year title of being a captain, but really it's just credit to the hard work and then the belief from my head coach.
It sounds like when you were in college, it was a bit of foreshadowing of your future coaching career.
Still haven't shut up, I guess.
As we look ahead to this season, Devin Scott comes in from Florida Atlantic. Chloe Oliver from Davidson. What are you seeing in them, and what are they adding?
Yeah, they've been tremendous to our team so far. They've come in, they have experience. It's also an adjustment for them coming to a new staff and coming to a new team, but they've worked incredibly hard. They are great additions for our team. They are continuing to to learn their roles and their new responsibilities also, along with our other players. But they work incredibly hard. They are getting extra when they can. They are coachable. They continue to want to grow and learn. And again, Zeta and Shamarla and Khalees Corley have really set the tone for that.
Well, Coach, we really appreciate the time. We wish you the best of luck in year one at the helm. And you know what? Don't stop talking. We don't. And you don't either, because clearly it has led you to some great heights. Congratulations again.
Thank you so much.
You as a new era begins at Stony Brook.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Coach. Good luck.
Thank you.
That is Joy McCorvey, the head coach of Stony Brook. We move from Stony Brook to Danielle Santos Atkinson of Hofstra. Coach enters her 6th year at the helm of the Hofstra Pride. And this is a Hofstra program that is looking to build here, heading into her 6th season, with a couple of returning starters between Emma Von Essen and Zaima Swint as well. A couple of other key returnees. Chloe Sterling comes in from James Madison, Cassidy Thompson from Quinnipiac. So we're intrigued to see what Coach Santos Atkinson does here in year number 6. Danielle,
yes.
This week, it is great to see you. Happy Friday, happy Media Day.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me. Really excited to be here.
We're excited to have you. When you think about your group and the nucleus of your team heading into year 6, I know you're trying to just keep on making leaps and keep on building. What makes you believe that this group can make some strides in this not easy, a difficult conference, certainly? What makes you think you can make those steps this year?
This team competes. This team competes unlike any other team, and just how they compete every single day. And so whether it's good, whether it's bad, whether it's fun, not fun, the one thing that we can rely on from this group is in whatever we do, they're going to show up and they're going to compete. And I think that's going to be the difference in this year's team and what this year looks like for them.
Coach, what are those principles? You know, I love talking with your group earlier this week, and we did a little media training, and the energy in the room was clear with your program heading into this season. What are the types of principles that you would say you base your program on?
Yeah, absolutely. At the core, our core values are honesty, hard work, discipline, enthusiasm, service, and family. And for us to be able to not just put those on the wall and not just say them, but to be able to live them every day through our actions is what we want from our program. To be able to not only come out and compete and be excellent on the floor, but also excellent in every area of our lives. And so for this team, like I mentioned, they compete harder than anybody else. We've got to show up and we've got to work hard every single day. And we've got to be able to be better each day than we were the last.
Coach, let's talk about your roster a little bit more in detail, and in particular, the returning starters like Emma Von Essen and Zaima Swint. What are you looking for out of them going into this season?
Yes, I mean, they're some of our veteran leaders, right? Not only on the floor, but off the floor. And so for them to be able to not only continue in their roles from last year, but to be able to step up and take their games to new heights. Zaima's been here with me now going on 5 years. And just watching her journey and the evolution in her game has been incredible, in her leadership and her confidence, all of it. So being able to see her step into that role with confidence this year in her last season, and again, be able to lead our teams to new heights. Same with Emma, coming in as a freshman here, and now in her 3rd season. Every year she's progressed and she's gotten better. And then now going into this year, not only progressing and getting better on the floor, but again, also in her maturity and her leadership. And in her confidence. I truly believe that those two are going to be reliable for us each game.
How about some of the newcomers you have joining the squad? Can you tell us a bit about them and your expectations in terms of how much of a role they will play?
Yeah, so we've got 9 newcomers, right? How exciting is that? Coming in this summer was a little scary, right? You've got 9 new people. You don't know what to expect. But how they have come and gelled, how our returners have really brought them in, to make this a team and a community has been great. But we've got Chloe, who stepped up for us throughout the summer and has been a great voice for us, is coming in, has led our team extremely well. And again, with the maturity she brings, I think is just great. And coming from a team like JMU that's done really well, she has that experience that she's brought to us. We've got 4 freshmen also that have come in, and they are just making a name for themselves as soon as they step floor. But you've got Lene, who's come in, and she's just mature, but beyond her years on the basketball floor, and has brought a really huge spark for us. One of the things that I love about these newcomers, when you have transfers, they bring a new perspective. And so when you have players such as Cassidy coming from Quinnipiac and the success and the tradition of that program, you've got Rama, who's come again from programs that have had a lot of success. And then again, and so just the versatility of their games, being able to score the ball from the inside, from the outside, as well as, just again, what they're bringing in terms of a transfer and their perspectives is what we're really looking forward to.
So many new faces. If there was a player that has stood out in terms of just maybe somebody that's surprised you so far, or that maybe you think could surprise people, maybe hasn't reached her potential yet, is there anyone you would point to?
Yeah, I can't give out too many secrets now. I'm teasing. But again, those 2 that I mentioned, I think Chloe, I don't know if she was as much of a surprise. We knew she was a great player coming in. Her voice and her leadership is something I think has been great for us, and definitely has made a huge impact on our team. I think the most surprising for us has probably been Lene. Because she is a freshman, and like I mentioned, you never know, obviously with freshmen coming in, their skill and their talent, but there's such a learning curve with freshmen. And you never know how, as they take on all of these new demands on their time and these new roles and these new responsibilities of being in college, what that looks like and how that transfers onto the court. But she's been great for us. And when you talk about somebody as a freshman that's able to come in every single day and be consistent in terms of their work ethic, that's hard to do as a freshman. And every single day she has shown up and has worked extremely hard for our team.
Danielle, you started your coaching journey at Hofstra on the staff in 2006. What's allowed it to be such a fitting home for you?
It's the people. The people. It has been absolutely amazing when you are able to show up every single day and be surrounded by people that want to see this program be successful, want to see you be successful, are willing to help and lend a hand and provide the resources. That makes a difference. And so when I was here before at Hofstra, it was all about that and all about the people. And then to have the opportunity to come back and still be surrounded by a lot of those same people, but also a lot of new people with those similar and same values and the same desire to see women's basketball be great is one of the reasons that I have absolutely enjoyed my time here.
Danielle, obviously looking to improve your finish in the CAA standings this go round. Are there a couple of talking points or just details that you think back on from last year that are really the keys to, hey, if we do these things, we're going to get there?
Yes, we've got to compete every day. Not waiting for game time, but competing every single day in practice is going to be huge. And again, I think that's the difference in this year's team is they are willing to compete. And again, willing to compete through the hard. And I think that is a separator of a lot of teams. It's very easy to come out when things are going well and to compete and to play hard. But to be able to come out through adversity, to come out when things may not be going your way and still have that same competitive fire and that same competitive work ethic, I think is what this team is going to need in order to continue through that. As we go throughout the year, there's a point where you've got ups and downs and it's ebbs and flows of a game, of a season. And when you hit that point and when you hit those skids, can you remain consistent? Can you dig in and be willing to give what it takes in order to continue the trajectory that you're headed in or in order to take the team to the next level?
Danielle, we've got about 60 seconds here. So we're going to try a little Fanta 5, a 5-pack of off-the-court questions that are fun and different. Number one,
Okay.
your favorite show or movie?
Oh, I'm going to go with an old school Love and Basketball because that's easy.
I love that. Speaking of, let's go a little music here. What's on your pregame playlist?
I listen to a lot of gospel to start. I will say that I get myself going through that. And then I turn it up and there may be a bit of rap in there just to get myself fired up and going to get myself fired up just before stepping out onto the court.
Number 3, you could have one meal for the rest of your life. What are you having?
Lasagna and some garlic bread.
Yes.
And hopefully it's from Vincent's.
Now we're talking. Number 4, vacation destination.
Oh, okay. So I haven't been there yet, but this year on my bucket list is going to Portugal. And that's very simple, very easy. But those are I've got some family roots there. And now we have Emma on our team from Portugal. So that makes me even more excited to be able to go there and visit that culture.
Number 5 for Danielle Santos Atkinson. Do you have a hidden talent or a hobby, and what is it?
Oh, I don't mention it a lot, but I love to scrapbook.
How about that?
I love to scrapbook.
Nice.
Yes, it is very calming for me. I can reminisce through memories and good times, and I like gifting scrapbooks.
What I'm talking about right there.
I mean, now I just want to hang out because I want to scrapbook and lasagna, and
Here we go. It's a party.
That's what we're talking about right there. It's time for that 2024-25 Hofstra women's basketball scrapbook to begin writing and to begin a brand new season. Danielle, thank you for taking the time. Best of luck to the Pride in Hempstead this year.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me.
Good luck. Thank you.
Danielle Santos Atkinson, and we move from Coach Santos Atkinson of Hofstra to Robin Harmony of the Charleston Cougars, who went 22-10 overall last year, 13-5 in the CAA. They made it to the WNIT second round. And Coach Harmony, it is great to have you with us. Remember talking with you heading into last year and the expectations. You win 22 games. You go 13-5 in this difficult league. That is saying something. How much do you feel the good momentum propelling into this year's version of the Cougars?
Well, I think that, when you graduate 7 kids and, you're thinking, okay, we finished third, we have to do this all over again. And it's something with the new freshman transfer portal that you just never really know what you're going to get. But we feel really good about our team. We've had 20 practices. And there's maybe one practice where I said, oh, my God, we're horrible. But our kids are working hard. They're getting better. And, when you lose players like Jenna Anacarico and Jada Logan, you think, okay, you guys are going to have a step down. But, it's really about recruiting, that transfer portal. I think that, we signed 3 players, and they're going to come in and give us immediate help. When you go to the transfer portal, you don't know if you're going to get a kid that gives you a slam dunk or they're going to dribble off their foot. But I think the 3 that we got in the transfer portal are definitely slam dunks. 2 of them are in the starting lineup. We could put 3 in, but, it's just really about minutes. If we look at our team this year, we know that we're deeper, we're bigger, we're stronger. We're actually better defenders. So that makes me a little bit more comfortable going into the new season.
Coach, since you brought up the importance of transfers and the difficulty and the challenge of this environment and trying to obtain transfers that will contribute, some of the notable newcomers you have listed here, Nia Willis and McKinley Brooks Sumter. Can you just describe a little bit more about their specific skill sets?
Well, with Nia, she knows the CAA. She's been in our conference. She's definitely in our starting lineup. We have her shooting the 3 ball. She's a really strong player that can take it to the rim, can finish. She wants to post up players. She's a good defender. She doesn't mind getting in there and mixing up the rebound. When you look at her at, 5'11", she's big, she's strong. She's already, a big time Division I player and used to our league. which will really help. With Mackenzie, we call her Mickey. She is a scorer. She's a bucket. She's working on a 3-point shot. Yes, she can hit it, but it's really, she can hit it off the bounce. She can rise. She hunts for her shot. She's always looking for her shot. We recruited her and we thought, okay, she'll be a point guard. Once we got her up and down the floor, we're like, that's not a point guard. That kid just wants to get a shot and push the ball down. She has a great attitude. She's a really good leader. And, she's going to come in and help us settle down early in the season.
Robin, when we look specifically at the CAA Preseason Player of the Year, Taryn Barbeau, what makes coaching her so much fun and what makes her extraordinary?
Well, she's like a big kid. She loves ball. And, she comes into practice every single day, clowns around, gives her little claps with everybody, different handshakes. And she doesn't ever have a bad day. She's always, let's go, coach, let's play. You practice for an hour, for 3 hours, she still wants to do it. And, she just makes her team better. And, at first when I heard about her being preseason player, I was like, oh, no, that's a curse. But that kid, it doesn't bother her. She just is happy-go-lucky. And, most players would have that pressure. Tara's not even thinking about it. Like, I think when we told her, she was just like, oh, okay. All right. When you'll see when we interview her, she'll be smooth. She just, nothing really bothers her, whether it's a big game. She shows up and performs. And, that's what she does in practice, makes her team better by just loving the game and working.
Sticking with Taryn for a moment, obviously had a tremendous rookie campaign as the Rookie of the Year in the CAA. What specifically are you looking for her to improve and develop? Because obviously she has a high ceiling. What's next for her individual game?
Well, with her, we have to make sure that she's not selfish enough. She always wants to look for somebody else to give the ball to. It's like, kids, shoot the ball. We need you to shoot so many times a game. And she's not selfish enough. So that's really what we need to work on her. She's already been working on her handle. She can, go right, go left, finish. She's a 3-level scorer, whether it's you leave her open for the 3 ball or she'll go off the bounce and finish at the rack with contact and always get an and one. It makes her team better. And now her sister is our point guard, and that makes Taryn's job a little bit easier because her sister can find her wherever she's at, whenever she's open. And she just brings so much to us. And really the big thing is just keep her healthy and, make sure we give her a little bit of rest because if last year we played her 40 minutes most games. So this year being deeper as a team, we know we can give her a couple blows and she won't be as tired. But, she works constantly. She's always that kid that's in the gym getting shots up. Her sister's the same way. And it's just really just keep playing and just tell her shoot the ball more. But, obviously that's a hard thing to teach a kid. You're either selfish or you're not. But, we're just going to keep saying in her ear and keep reminding her, take your shot. Because we know that the best defender is going to start guarding Taryn. So we do that to her now in practice where we have 12 guys that are our scout guys, practice players, and we put a really good defender on her who has that 6-foot size that's used to. That way she gets used to it and she won't be fazed.
Robin, when you think about your journey, you were named an Atlantic Coast Conference women's basketball legend back in 2013. You play your college ball at Miami. You serve on staff there, 18 seasons. And now at Charleston, I just look between your playing journey and a coaching journey that spanned 4 decades. What's been the reward and the journey been like to get to this point in your career? And just how rewarding has it been for you when you think about what you've certainly given to this game and what the game's given back to you?
Well, players like the Terrans and the Jennas that we had in the past and Jadas, that's what makes it fun. Just to coach them up, get to know them, keep a relationship with them, just to give back that way. That's, really what's important, that you don't, just to make sure these kids know you played the game, you've done it, you've been there, you know how they're feeling. And they just have to know that I can always beat them one-on-one at any day, even now. And I can, because they'll come in the lane and I'll just trip them and, put them out. But, that's just the competitive nature that, you want to give your team.
Well, we've been talking about just the parity of this conference, and last year, the third 20+ win season in program history. What are the keys to and the challenges to just maintaining and even taking the next step for this team?
Yeah, we just want to try to get that 20+ win again. And it helps us when you go to postseason play that the kids see that that's the goal. You want to go to the NCAA tournament. And if you can't go to the NCAA tournament, you have to get in some kind of postseason play. But it's setting that bar where, hey, the team in the past did it. Now you guys are expected to do it, and just continue and not have where you graduate 7 kids and then you have a big hole. And that does happen a lot. But, with the transfer portal, it helps you. But it's still a crapshoot where you never know what you're going to get. But, we want to work hard every day. We want to get better. We want to compete. And when you look at the women's CAA league, you know that everybody's good. You can get beat by the 14th, or you can knock off a number 1. It's every single night you have to show up and play. The 3 new teams that we added to the conference in the women's side, they're legit. So it's not like, oh, that's 6 more wins. It's not that way with us. So it just has to be where your kids are ready. They're going to compete every single day. And, we keep getting better. And, you have to make sure too, the basketball gods aren't always good to you, where you get injuries, and, you just got to kind of get through it. And hopefully your team gets deep. And, with us, I would say that we could be 11 deep now, where we never had that in the past. I always said, hey, I want to get deeper, because of our style of play, where we do press and, we play a lot of man, and we're kind of, it wears you out after a while. It wears us out, and it obviously wears our opponents out. But if we can do what we say we want to do and continue to play kids and get them experience and, just stay healthy, it'll make us continue to get that 20+ season, postseason play. And, you have to be good and lucky. We've been good, but not very lucky.
Robin, we appreciate the time. Loved your response about your why, and thanks for all you've given to this wonderful sport that we both love. And best of luck this season down in Charleston, one of the great cities in our world.
Yeah, appreciate that. Appreciate it. Thank you. Look forward to seeing you guys soon.
That's Robin Harmony, the head coach of Charleston Cougars. I think that was so cool, Maria, when you just hear somebody reflect on why they do it over the course of 4 decades. That was awesome.
Definitely. Great question by you. Man, we're already on fire with these interviews.
We are, and speaking of which, there's a new fire, if you will, down at Hampton, because it's a new era. Tamisha Augustin takes over this program. Tamisha, you're home.
Yes, I am.
We're so excited to have you, because for those who don't know about Coach Tamisha Augustin, you're going to know quite well very quickly, because, look, you're from out of Bethel High School. You then excelled at Alabama A&M. You're 2-time All-SWAC performer, but now you're back home, right in your hometown, and taking over at Hampton. How special is that, and how much do you believe it's meant to be for you to be back home?
Well, I tell you what, I lead my life with the man above, and so I would have to say that's part of his journey. It's come full circle, but it's been very special to have the community support, as well as just family and friends nearby. But just an awesome feeling. Hampton has always had a great crowd through many years with Coach Six and Coach Mebane, different coaches. And so we want to have the community at our games. Our arena holds 7,500. We want that thing rocking. And I'm excited to be home and elated to be the 10th head coach here.
Previously an associate head coach over at the University of Florida. How would you describe what you want your coaching style to look like going into this new role?
Well, I would say fun. We're going to, obviously, the girls will tell you that there's structure to it. But just doing things with giving our best version of ourselves. I think it starts there. We want to be the most gritty team on the floor. We want to play hard. We're going to outwork people. But more importantly, we want to get up and down. We want to hold teams to 55 points and under. We want to play defense. And with that comes a lot of hard work and having to be able to play your bench as well.
Coach, talking about your team as well with some of those newcomers, you bring in Tiani Abrams from Northern Colorado. You bring in Jaisha Clinton, who was at Temple and a former first-team All-State in Virginia, 3-year starter at Temple is Jaisha Clinton. And the list goes on from there between CeCe Thomas and Keodora and Arena Nikishina, Diamond Wiggins too. I guess first thought is, what went into, okay, what are the types of pieces I want to bring in? Who am I looking for? Because, I can sense it from you. Not anybody could play for you. You want a certain type of player. What were you looking for, and what excites you about the kids you did bring in?
I think that they all have had experiences, right, at different levels, different conferences, making us a diverse group. I thought that we needed a little bit of an edge, right? So we took a couple players that brought some physicality and had a high motor. Then, we knew that we needed to bring a shooter in. And then we knew we needed some experience at those guard spots. And so putting all of those things together, and then we needed a little bit more size. So with the timing of the job and what was available in the portal, but these young ladies wanted to be at Hampton. They bought into the coaching staff. And more importantly, I wanted great teammates, great people. You've got to be a great person before you can even get on this basketball team individually. And what I would have to say about this team in general is that they generally like each other. They love each other. And the chemistry has been phenomenal.
Coach, one of those newcomers is Jaisha Clinton, who was at Temple and was a star there for 3 years. What is she going to bring to this roster?
Jaisha's going to bring experience. She plays with the edge. Everybody around the country knows that and has experienced that. She's a good defender as well, and ability to score.
Coach,
how about
what's a go ahead, Maria.
Oh no, that's okay, John. You go.
What's a Coach Augustin practice look like? What do you want your kids to know when you step in there between those walls? What does a practice look like right now down in Hampton?
Well, for starters, we open up with prayer, but we're loose in there. We have our music going, and when we get ready to go, I don't coach energy and effort. They bring it every day. They have been doing that. It's my job to teach them. Winning has a certain look and feel to it. And so they've just been having fun with it. I commend them for taking ownership with it. We get up and down for the first 12 minutes of practice, and then we dive right into defense. And so we have some things that we do as a base every day that are staples of our program, and they take ownership of it.
I was just going to ask, because we spoke a lot about all the new additions to the team, but one of your returners, Amaya Reeves, should be able to continue to contribute. What are you expecting from her?
Leadership, more vocal, ability to score, but she's been doing a great job playing on both sides of the ball. So with that, I think with all of the returners, there hasn't been a lot of playing experience, right? There's 2 key returners that did play a lot. Everybody else is still developing and learning what it looks like to be in that role. It's not a matter of if they can play. So just gaining them experience with the newcomers that we brought in as well as the returners. But Amaya, she's improved her shooting. She put in a lot of work this summer to be a more all-around guard. And so I'm looking forward to her stepping into that role.
Coach, a little birdie told us about some summer events that occurred in the community, some volunteer efforts, some team bonding as well. So what were the Pirates up to?
Well, the Pirates were up to, I really, really believe in chemistry. That team I was with, Arizona, Dia Barnes and her husband, Saba Copa, the other assistant, Jackie Nard. A big part of what we had, we weren't the most athletic team, but we defended. And on top of defended, we had great chemistry. And so this summer, we spent a lot of time learning each other with that many new people. I didn't want it to seem like the old versus the new. It was important that they respect each other as people and that we gain and understand what family meant. So, we did different things. It varied from week to week. We've painted. We've went out. We've went to water country. We've been to different theme parks. We've obviously worked out at the beach with it being nearby. And we've just found different ways to keep training interesting. I think as we ask our players to evolve all the time as coaches, we have to do the same thing. And from that standpoint, I think together we've brought a commitment to being a great family.
Well,
if we have time, do we have time for one more or no?
Absolutely.
No, I was just going to say, look, you had talked about how you really want defense to be, a staple, obviously holding teams under 55 points. The chemistry piece you were just discussing is huge for that. But how about on the offensive end, knowing that this team, even though there are a lot of new faces, struggled on offense last year? What are some calling cards that you want that offense to have?
Well, obviously, we want our defense to be able to generate some offense for us. But I've harped a lot on defense, but we're scoring better than we did last year. Just with a different dynamic, different roster ability to score. We've been able to shoot it better from deep. So we want to get out. We want to get up and down and run, and then we'll get into our secondary for sure. But Amaya, Jasha, along with some key other pieces, they've all been in the gym. I'm big on skill development. So we've done a lot of that this summer. And with that, we've seen a huge improvement in everyone's game.
Coach, great to have you. Congratulations on a new era at Hampton and taking over as the head coach. I love seeing your journey, and you've just put in so much work, and you deserve this. And welcome to Hampton and welcome to the CAA. Coach Tamisha, Augustin, with a big year ahead and big years ahead. Tamisha, thanks for taking the time.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you both. I look forward to speaking with you.
Thank you. Good luck.
It's a lot of excitement for a new era of Hampton women's basketball. Earlier, we unveiled that Taryn Bober is the preseason player of the year in the CAA. As a freshman, to come in and average 16 points per game, and you combine that with 6 rebounds per game, 15 points per game, 6 rebounds per game, 2 assists. I mean, she came into the program for Coach Harmony and made a big impact as one of the best players in this league as a freshman. Now she's the CAA preseason player of the year, and our Talia Goodman has a one-on-one with Taryn Barbo.
All right, and now I am joined by Taryn Barbo, sophomore guard at College of Charleston. Taryn, you were named the preseason CAA Player of the Year. I guess when you first heard that and now, what does that mean to you?
I was shocked, to be honest. I'm not gonna lie. I was a little shocked, but I mean, I was happy, proud of myself for getting it. So, yeah.
And you're being named the Player of the Year, right, as only a sophomore in college. How would you describe your freshman year? You led the CAA in scoring. You were Charleston's first Rookie of the Year. How special was your freshman year?
It was really special because I worked hard during the season and the off season to bring my game up and everything like that. And it was just that was one of my goals coming into college, to at least get Rookie of the Week or Rookie of the Year or something like that, just something. So to have that, it was just really nice and special to me.
Yeah, of course. And in your freshman year, you made the WNIT, made it to the second round, right? What do you feel like is the biggest thing that you and the team learned from that experience, especially, having that in your rookie year?
I think we learned a lot, but this year, we trying to go to the tournament, the NCAA tournament. So so we just working more. Sorry, we just working harder this year to get to our goal of going to the tournament, getting a ring and stuff.
And what are you personally doing to work to get there? What do you think is the biggest thing that improved in your game this offseason?
I think something that would improve probably. I mean, I'm still shooting my threes, still working on that. Obviously, I'm working on my defense and just I'm trying to like work on like different finishes around the basket. Like, you know.
And you mentioned obviously the big goals that you and the team have this year. Talk to me a little bit about Charleston. What can we expect from you guys? Where have you guys seen improvements, and what are you most excited about?
I think you can see like us like being like kind of fast paced playing, like be trying to run the floor, trying to get out in transition, trying to like get steals, like stuff like that. So I think that's what y'all gonna see from us like this year.
100%. And you mentioned, the team goal, right, is to get to the NCAA tournament. What are the
And
goals for your
win a championship for
and win
that.
a championship, of course. And what do you expect from yourself? What are you hoping to accomplish? It's just your second year, you have so much time left, but what are you hoping to accomplish?
Personally, I just want to like I want to accomplish like to get player of the year, or like I also want to get defensive player of the year. So I want to get like a lot of things, but like I just got to keep working like towards that.
And how much does getting this preseason honor, right? How much does that motivate you? How much is that gonna motivate you throughout the year?
It's gonna motivate me definitely a lot, because like y'all picked me like to be preseason player of the year. So like now I feel like but like I want to like keep up or like live up to like live up to type like kind of things.
Yeah, of course. And what are you most excited about this year, right? There's a lot ahead. You haven't even started the season yet. There's still time before the season starts. When you think about this year, what excites you the most? Whether it's, getting to play with someone in particular, a certain game that you're circling on the schedule, what is it?
I mean, I'm excited for the whole season. Like, I don't really have like a specific thing. Like, I'm just excited for the whole season. Like, we basically we got like new players and stuff, like new freshmen that came in. So like, I'm just excited like to just play, like just like get the season going and stuff like that.
Yeah, 100%. Awesome. Well, thanks so much for coming on, and congratulations again.
Thank you.
Welcome back to CAA Women's Basketball Media Day. John Fanta and Maria Marino with you. Great to have Talia Goodman talk with Taryn. And I'll tell you what, she is in for a terrific season as Taryn Barbo, just a stud of a player, and to average over 15 points per game last year, really, really impressive. Let's turn from that to the head coach of the Campbell Fighting Camels. He is a three-time Conference Coach of the Year honoree. He is entering his 9th season at the helm. In 16 years, holds a career record of 249 wins, 152 of those coming at Campbell. It is the head coach of the Camels who joins us, Ronny Fisher. Ronny, great to have you with us, coming over from Bowie's Creek all the way down there. Excited for a new season of Camels basketball. What do you look at with your team this season?
Yeah, thank you guys so much for having me on. And you had to put me right behind Taryn. I'm sitting there listening to all she's done, and I'm getting nervous here. She's a heck of a player. So congratulations to her on the preseason player of the year. But I tell you, we have a very young team this year, probably the most inexperienced team I've had in probably my 17 years of coaching women. We lost a lot of scoring, a lot of rebounding, and we have basically a brand new team. I love our team, the energy and the speed of our team, but we've got a long way to go. But we're excited to be back in the league. It's such a tremendous league, and can't wait to get started.
Ronny, you're at the helm of the only program in the nation to be ranked in the top 25 in scoring defense in each of the last 8 seasons. What does that mean to you?
Yeah, I think it's a tremendous job by our assistant coaches with recruiting, that we recruited young ladies that really fit in the culture of what we're trying to do here. And really just, we talk about sweating and serving, and it's really just a lot of hard work and care more about your teammate than yourself. And I think that's all defense is effort and playing together. And our players have really bought into that. And hopefully we can continue that. We've got some young players that have a ways to go with that, but we're getting there, and that's been a staple of what we do, and we want to do that every year, and we feel like if we do that, we're going to have a chance in every game. So we're trying to keep that streak going, and that's going to be a challenge this year. The league is so good.
Well, Coach, you mentioned the young players that can make that particularly challenging. What is the challenge? Can you describe it when you have 5 freshmen that you're trying to ingrain these defensive tactics within them?
Yeah, it's a challenge, and it's also a lot of fun. This group, not just our freshmen, but our whole team this year, they're like sponges. Really, they're on my every word, and they're playing so hard and working. It's just like that. Sometimes we have more water than we can fit in that sponge right now. And if we could get our 20-hour weeks to 40-hour weeks, I think we would be all right. But right now, it's just trying to really, the repetitions and creating habits takes time. And they're doing a tremendous job, and I'm enjoying it. Losing a little more hair, I've almost lost it all, but losing a little more with it. But we're going to be all right. I like the direction we're heading.
Well, of those freshmen, anyone in particular that has stood out so far, or that we should really be on the lookout for?
Yeah, I really love them all 5, and hate to single out 1 or 2 of them. I think they're all going to be good, and they all really meet a need that we had in this recruiting class. But I think Olivia Tucker, she's got a lot of experience and at the guard position, and she's stepped in, and very, very tough kid, plays hard, and Jasmine Felton as well. Bring a lot. Both of those bring a lot of speed. They both played in great AAU programs where they played top notch competition, and they may be a little bit ahead of the other 3, but the other 3 are going to do great too. I think they're all 5 going to make impacts immediately.
Ronny, let's talk about Gemma Nunez Jr. What makes her special? Yeah,
Gemma is, we talk about one thing in our program, that toughness wins. And every day we're trying to get tougher. And that's one reason we've been pretty good on defense, is we've had some tough-nosed players. And Gemma is that. She's one of the toughest kids I've ever coached. And that's what she brings to our team. And I love it when my point guard has that characteristic, because I think everything feeds off your point guard and your leadership. She came into our program not speaking English pretty much. And the first year was a transition year, and she learned so much that first year, and she went to work in the summer, and last year came back and had a tremendous year. And she's stepped in right where she left off. She's a tremendous defender. She gets the ball where it needs to go, and she doesn't turn it over much. And she's also getting much better at scoring, shooting the ball, finishing, and just really a good leader for our team.
Coach, an interesting note on your program, one of 6 D1 schools without a transfer on the roster for a second straight season. Can you just explain, your philosophy on transfers? Was that happenstance? Like, how did that come about?
Yeah, I wouldn't say it's happenstance, but I'm also not going to say that we'll never take transfers. But one thing that's really important to our program is culture. And I think if you can keep players, the longer you keep them, the more you establish that culture and that continuity. And I think that's kind of a reason we've been pretty consistent, and we're not where we need to be yet. But that consistency, I think, comes from culture. And so I enjoy having players for 4 years. We did lose a really good one last year, but I love bringing freshmen in and seeing them get better every year and develop. And that's kind of what I have a passion about. Our staff does too. We love getting in the gym every day and getting them better. And I think they enjoy that, and hopefully it'll continue. That not many of them have left, and I think a reason is they enjoy that progress they make, and they also realize if they stay and they work, they're going to play. And so I like that model, but at the same time, there's nothing wrong with having transfers. If we from year to year, we will take some transfers. That's not a problem, but I love the continuity that we've established in the culture.
Ronny, year 1 in this league last season, what was the biggest thing that you took away about this conference? And what are some of those learning points that you took from this league?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of obvious that, our league is really good. and I mean, I was blown away by, just seeing the 5 teams that went to postseason and how they performed. It's a tremendous league. And every night, what's amazing, you look at preseason rankings, I think last year, those 5 teams in the postseason, I think only one of them was picked in the top 4 last year, that being Stony Brook. And that the parity in our league and the from top to bottom, the depth and how good it is just amazing. And there was a little learning curve for us last year. We were blessed to start the season up at Stony Brook and Monmouth. I think they finished 1 and 2 in the league and got thrown in the fire. And then we lost on our home floor. We were 0-3, but we really got better from it and came back and finished strong. I think we won 5 of our last 8, and we're blessed to win a game in the tournament. And so I love the direction we're heading, and hopefully we won't have as big of a learning curve this year.
Well, Coach, we appreciate your time. We wish you the best of luck here in year 2 in the league, and love that if you're going to play Campbell, you better be ready for a hard night, because that defense knows no limits, and that's why you were top 10 again in between scoring, defense, and obviously first in the Coastal Athletic Association. You've brought that to the table, a sense of toughness. I know the Camels only play one way. We appreciate that toughness from your program year in and year out.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate you talking with us.
Thank
Absolutely.
you.
That's Ronny
Good
Fisher,
luck.
the head coach of the Campbell Fighting Camels, now heading into year 2 in the CAA. We transition from Ronny Fisher to Northeastern, and the Northeastern Huskies heading into year 2 of the Priscilla Edwards-Lloyd era. And this is a Northeastern program that now looks to take that next step. So let's talk with our good friend, Priscilla Edwards-Lloyd. Priscilla, it's great to have you with us. Great to see you. Can't believe the season's just over 2 weeks away. So, take us inside, because it's easy for us on the outside to say, all right, year 1, now a foundation. Here's that next step in year 2. But what's that process look like? What did you take from your first season at the helm that you think you want to build on for year 2?
Yeah, obviously last season was a learning year. Experienced a lot. It was good to face a lot of adversity early. So, for the folks who returned, they learned a lot about resiliency. I did as well, and pivoting, the ability to pivot and figure things out. So, going into year 2, we got a really new bunch that I'm excited about, and we're just stacking together, just day by day practices and learning each other and growing, but really trying to solidify our culture and how we want to play.
Well, let's talk about how you want to play. What are some of the fundamental pillars that you established a season ago that you're looking to take to the next level, just in terms of, like the fundamental parts of the game and how you want your team to be defined?
Yeah, having the personnel to play the way we want to is a big thing. And so just really excited to have the depth to play a faster pace. We want to get out and speed and spacing and play in transition. And so feeling really good about having the personnel to do that. In the half court, we want to be a team that shares the ball, plays for one another, plays through the paint. And so, really getting a feel for just movement and cutting and screening and being able to make the plays and playing off each other. When you have a big new group, they're learning how each other likes to play, where they want the ball. And so we've spent a lot of time since the summer of solidifying that style of playing one another, playing for one another on both the offensive and defensive end.
Coach, you've got Maddie Vizza back after some adversity in her career, battling through injuries, going through different things, trials and tribulations. For Maddie, how proud are you of her, and what do you think is in store for her this season?
Yeah, extremely proud. Maddie was one of the unsung heroes of last year. She, after experiencing 2 years of injuries, was our most durable player last year, didn't miss a game. And so, we just relied on her so much last year to be, our emotional leader. She led by example. She always was our most vocal one on the floor, and just really helped a lot of our players through, difficult times. And the same thing this year. She's excited to see more bodies out there. So, she's not going every single rep, but she still is super vocal. She brings the pace, the energy for us. And she's just overall a great teammate, one that you want in your locker room. So she's been awesome in terms of what she's been providing and helping our new players acclimate, but at the same time pushing them to be great.
Looking at the rest of your roster, interesting, you have 5 international players on the roster. How did that sort of international flavor come about?
Just a little osmosis, a little, sightseeing and traveling. No, but we want to attract some of the best talent, best student athletes here at Northeastern. And so, our recruiting looks a little bit different in terms of what we have to offer. And, luckily we're an institution that attracts a lot of international students, so being able to pick up players from Spain, from Guatemala, from, everywhere is something that